првите, едни од главните поддржувачи на борбата на активизмот на ЛГБТ и заедницата се токму жените.
Yes.
И веројатно како жена вам ви доаѓа многу полесно тоа да го правите, или? Does it come a little bit easier for you as a woman to support marginalized groups? Because men a little bit always on the side when it comes to these issues and questions.
You know what? I don't have the answer to that because I don't know what it's like to be a man talking about it. I can only approach it. I'm asked from time to time, what's it like to be a female ambassador? And it's the only thing I know. It is a weird question.
That's a weird question, I have to say.
But it's fine. I'll answer any question. And the answer is, I don't know. It is what it is because I have no idea what it's like to approach this as a man. Again, it comes to education, and it comes to saying, this is something, individual X might be uncomfortable with, all the more reason to talk about it and figure out why that makes you uncomfortable. Because so much of discrimination is driven by fear, by somebody being different than you, and you not understanding that. Not you, obviously, but those who tend to discriminate against others, it's fear. And women have been marginalized since the dawn of time, and there are many communities where that still takes place, and it's still a struggle globally, including in the United States. So let's talk about it. Why are people afraid of individuals that are different from them, and why do they then take the certain actions that they do?
I was wondering about this question, I have to say, but I will ask it.
Okay.
Because it's... Yes, it is a question that everybody speaks about it, but I don't know that if anyone in your diplomatic career asked you about it. So when you came in this country...
Now I'm a little nervous.
Oh, don't be. When you hear it, don't be.
Okay.
So when you came in this country, above the obvious of stating your opinion loudly about corruption, about the ways of things are done here, there was one thing that everybody behind the scenes were talking about, and these are your high heels. Is this a statement? Because there is always a very specific model of high heels you're wearing. And I'm sure that many of the drag community here would like to hear this answer.
Well, I've seen some pretty great heels on drag queens in this country, so we need to have a conversation about where they're shopping. But, it hasn't been a conscious decision on my part. I kind of have a thing about shoes and bags, and I like them, and I think that, it is who I am. And I appreciate when people notice, but it's also...
Well, they do.
Well, thank you.
Believe me.
My heels today, by the way, are Vranec colored.
Vranec color. I love that. You know why I'm asking? Because the dress code of diplomacy is very strict and maybe sometimes a little bit sterile. But the high heels are a statement. I don't know if you see it that way, but we see it that way.
I have been wearing high heels for many, many years. And so it isn't so much of a statement as just it's who I am. And I always feel that when I'm wearing flat shoes that I'm not quite properly dressed.
Okay.
And it's funny because I do a lot of things, like with the military or things like this, and people on my staff, including, are frequently telling me, don't wear your regular shoes, which means the sticklies. And it's like, there's almost nowhere I can't go in high heels,
really?
As my team will also tell you, right, Vera?
Oh my God.
The only times I don't is, for example, I was in a helicopter last year, and you're not allowed.
Well,
and so
it's a safety issue.
Which, frankly, I would have been fine. But so it's one of those things. If there's, if I'm not technically allowed to, then I will certainly respect that. But it's just kind of, who I am.
Amazing. Thank you very much for answering this question because
You're very welcome.
It was circling around.
It wasn't even as scary as I thought it could.
Well, I told you so. How important it is? I was going to speak the questions in Macedonian. Колко е важно маргинализираните групи да бидат вклучени во општествените одлуки и во општествените процеси?
It's absolutely critical that every group within a community be allowed to play their role in contributing to that society. And why wouldn't we ask that of them? Frankly, it's our responsibility as citizens to actively engage in our communities. And if we take a group of people from within our community and say, not you, not so fast, we are automatically hindering our ability to grow. And as I said, I mean, there are economic repercussions to this, let alone the social, the mental, the physical, the law enforcement issues that come with it. It's very, very diverse throughout a society when you do marginalize people. And it leads to misunderstanding, it leads to violence, it can lead to crime. And all of these things are something, again, that we should be aware of and work to address. It makes no sense to cut out a chunk of your of the people that live around you, of your town, of your country.
Каква улога игра личниот пример на лидерите како вас? So, what is the role of personal examples that from leaders like you in creating our societal consciousness when it comes to inclusivity and the acceptance of the marginalized group, of differences, of inequalities?
Yeah. Well, I would say
we have seen your influence when it comes to corruption, but let's talk about this.
Yeah, no, I think that's really important, and you know, we all need to do more, and again, we need to have conversations like this. And I would also suggest that as important as it is for a foreign diplomat like me to engage, it's almost more important for people within, you know, the small towns, the cities of this country and around the region to be setting that example. Because at the end of the day, I'll go back to the United States at some point. And the important thing is that change comes and stays. And it can't do that without people in cities and towns and in rural areas around this country saying, I'm okay with you being different. I can go about my life. Your difference doesn't change anything about my life. It doesn't make it worse. It's your happiness makes all of us happier. Your success makes all of us more successful. So your difference is something that is just about you. And let's just let everyone be themselves. Let's appreciate them for who they are. And having young people, especially within these communities across North Macedonia, having these conversations and sticking up for their friends and sticking up for people that are different from them, that's how you make it last.
На почетокот, кога го започнавме овој разговор, споменав дека состојбата со ЛГБТ заедницата, со феминистичките движења за родовата еднаквост, малку се во поспецифична ситуација сега поради антиродовите движења. Како гледате на антиродовите движења низ светот, имајќи на ум дека многумина ги оценуваат како закана за инклузивноста во современите, во модерните општества и како Соединетите Американски држави се справуваат со ова?
It's a little more different. It's different here than it is in the United States, though there are communities in the U.S., very traditional communities, where we see the same types of things. You know, this is a secular country, just as the United States is. And I think people's values should be respected, But everyone's values should be respected, whether you're conservative or liberal, as long as they are not hurting others, then think whatever you like. When those thoughts turn into actions that might harm someone else, then let's have a conversation about it. But it is, in any sort, and we talked about this at the beginning, if you start chipping away at rights from one group, then believe me, it won't end with that group. That there are those, and again, I do believe that this is driven by fear, who would like to restrict the rights of certain groups. And if we don't collectively speak up when we see that for one group, then others will be pulled into that as well.
На крајот сме на разговорот. За крај ме интересира исто многу едно важно прашање. Which parties are better? The general ones or the gay parties?
Oh, gay parties. That was the easiest question.
It had to be asked.
It's absolutely true. It's undeniably true that gay parties are more fun.
Медам амбасадор, ке ви благодарам многу за издвоеното време. Мислам дека ако продолжевме со разговорот, наместо со амбасадорке, ке почнев со Анџела да ви се обреќам.
Of course.
И се гледаме тогаш на некоја од забавите, па зошто не и на
Absolutely.
дрег забава.
Yeah. And please make sure that there are drag queens there so I can talk to them about their shoes.
The high heels, yes.
The heels, yeah.
Oh, they will love that. Oh, they will. Thank you very much.
Ogi, thank you so much.
Мислам дека уживавте во ова кратко, но сладко интервју, каде што навистина зборувавме за теми, особено со дипломатка која што за овие теми не ја слушате, особено не за подпетиците и за забавите. Така што, искрено да ви кажам, се радувам ако во изминатите повеќе нешто од 20 на минути и вие уживавте во разговорот и дека можеби од овој разговор ќе се поттикнете и самите вие да разговарате. Бидејќи, како што кажа и амбасадорката, многу е важно пред се и над се да разговараме. Акцијата следува токму како врз основа на тој разговор. Ви благодарам.